All right, we quickly had to put the Marshall game to bed with the short week. Came in last night and had a little bit more of an extended Sunday, really just a walkthrough last night. Moved on to UTSA, and we're excited about the opportunity of playing Thursday night. We'll leave here Wednesday, so bottom line is most important thing is how we get our guys' legs back and our mind back. We've got 2 more opportunities left, and so that's where our focus is on a team that has a number of seniors that really started this program with Coach Coker, who's done a great job. The same guys, so I know they want to go out the right way. I know they've had a tough, back end of the season with some quarterback issues, playing the young guy as the older guy got hurt. So, again, but we expect them to come out fired up and be ready to play just like we will be.
Questions?
Watching the film from Saturday, what was the biggest issue out there on the field?
Well, the biggest issue is you only have so many opportunities against a really good football team to seize momentum. So the whole idea of the week was to score more longer. That was the theme. We don't want to give them the ball very often. That means we have to be able to run the football, which we did, and sustain drives, which we did at times. The problem was, and we were going to onside kick it until we didn't get it. So we were going to keep going. The sad part was it started off the right way. We have a mental mistake that stopped us from getting the ball back. So then we don't do a very good job from there for the next probably 15 minutes of playing good football collectively. After we have to kick off from the 30, they get it to the 45 and score. They kick off to us, we go 3 and out, we have a 25-yard punt that gives the ball in the 50, they score. We get the ball back, have a 4th and inches, and fumble a QB snap, they get it on the 30. Next time we get the ball, we get a field goal. What do? We kick it off, they return it to our 45. So we did everything in our power to not allow ourselves at home to capitalize on the momentum. We didn't get them enough in 3rd downs offensively. But even with that being said, then right before the half, we have an opportunity, and then 4 straight times we had the ball in the 50 or closer and didn't get any points. That's been kind of, unfortunately, as we're going through these growing pains, coaching staff and playing, where we don't find a way to score enough points with the opportunities we've been given. We've probably for the last, 5 or 6 weeks, we've done a pretty good job moving the ball, really. We just haven't been able to sustain those drives and consistently get touchdowns. That's just the way it is.
Can you say yet whether or not, what's the quarterback situation?
We anticipate Nick will play.
Can you talk a little bit about that, having him back after an extended period of time? Will you sort of, slow things down offensively, or are you expecting to go right back?
Don't know that yet. We really haven't. Last night was just a walkthrough. So we'll have a better idea, really, to be honest, Jason, we'll have a better idea today, actually tonight. It's kind of a tough week for our guys. It's a big week for them, big day of the week, Monday's a big day for our guys in terms of labs and class. So we're gonna go tonight at 9:30. So we'll go out for an hour tonight and an hour and a half, and we'll get out there and get after it tonight. It was either get them up early this morning after being here last night or come again tonight. So we'll have a better idea tonight.
This is your first, or y'all's first time to go on a short week like this, and you mentioned getting their legs back and getting their minds back as being the biggest challenge for a short week.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about that. Do you give them extra? Any extra things during the week?
Well, I just think you do a lot more stretching. I think you do a lot more. You give them a lot more rest. In terms of how much you're really asking them to run. When I was with the Jaguars, we'd have a Sunday, Thursday game. That's even 1 day shorter. That's a real nightmare, that turnaround. So now, playing Saturday night, that's a short turnaround. But bottom line is you have to do what you do in a short week, just like when I was there. You have to play to your strengths that your players will know. You don't have a lot of practice time to really come up with a lot of things that are new, because you don't have time to really work on them. So maybe it's a good thing. We don't have a lot of time to try and create things. Do what we do and do it better.
You always want to run the ball in every game. Last week, trying to control the clock more, sustain drives, longer drives. Is that going to be kind of more of a focal point here this week with UTSA?
Well, we've tried to do that. Again, as I said before, with Cole, when he was playing, our sample size was small. Sometimes our ability to run the ball, it doesn't matter what you're doing, the better you can run the football, the more you're going to call it. When you find yourself behind the sticks a little bit, then you don't feel as as inclined to call the run game. So, and some of the other games we've been behind. So that's added to it. If you probably look over the last 5 or 6 weeks, when the game's been in the balance, we've tried to run it. I mean, we have. I mean, we've tried to run it and try to stay in front of the sticks. And we just did a better job of it the other night. Didn't do a good enough job 2 weeks ago calling it and doing a good enough job then. But we've got to be able to run the football. There's no question. And we've gotten a lot better up front. I think another week with Norman playing right tackle and Jerry Harris being healthy help. So we'll see this week.
What type of challenges does UTSA pose on defense for you guys?
Well, they play awfully hard defensively. They've got 7 or 8 senior starters with a number of senior and junior backups. That's one thing you can say about them. Is I don't think they're very complicated, but I think they're very sound in what they do, and they play hard, and they challenge you. They play off each other really well. I think that's the biggest thing. And that's usually most defenses. They're ones that are really good, usually do what they do, and they do it really well.
Smith getting mainly all the carries from that game, or most of the production anyway. Does it kind of vary each week of, all right, we want this running back to get it, or is it just the flow of the game that dictates who gets the ball?
Some of both. I mean, some of it dictates flow of the game. Some of it dictates, who's available. I mean, George had a nicked up shoulder, so he couldn't go. Some of the carries that Ito got in short yardage probably would have been George. So we were in a number of those early in the game that would have been 5 or 6 carries for George. Just turned out that was Ito. We went in the game thinking we might be able to have George, but he wasn't able to go. I mean, he was dressed, but so that's where that kind of came from. But Ito's a good runner. You just have to be careful of getting too many carries for him. So he's got an explosive burst and has a way of finding seams. He just does. He's a guy that's created some explosive runs for us, no matter who we've gone against.
Has he drastically improved as the season has gone on? I mean, it seems like this past weekend there was less second guessing. He just sort of went with his instinct, and fewer times where it was like earlier in the season he might have outthought himself, got too much.
I think that's valid. I think he's gotten better that way. I think we blocked it better. I think there was less. A guy that's a jump cut running back, if you put people in their face, he's going to naturally want to make a cut. That's his nature. So you got to be careful. There were times in other games where if you put someone right in his face, he's going to make a move. We didn't have that as much. He had much more space to be able to get downhill, and I think he's done a better job of that. And I think he's healthy. There was a moment there, part earlier in the year, where he's a little nicked up, but he's healthy.
Going against an experienced coach like Larry Coker, how is that for you as a coach, coaching against a guy that's been in it and done it and been there for so long? Well,
first of all, Coach Coker's done a great job. He did a great job at Miami, and he's done a great job there. It's not easy to start a program up and then jump right into Division I. I mean, they had a tremendous year last year. And so, that's not easy. And they're always well prepared. You watch them. It's not like they're doing unsound things. They've just had some unfortunate things happen to them at the quarterback position. And that's, again, momentum's a powerful thing. It's just an amazing thing because there's still a number of those players that are playing from earlier in the year, but it's just all of a sudden you're not playing as well, and for some reason or another you can't get it back. And I can't speak for them, but I know they've got good players. I know they've got good coaches. And we're excited to play them, and we're expecting their best. And we've got to do a great job of, as they do, of putting the game last week behind them and moving forward.